Om Shanti. I will start with the question in the Murli today. Baba today says, which children can experience unlimited happiness all the time? So first thing is unlimited happiness and then all the time. So which children will be able to experience that? Now listen to the answer very carefully. Baba says, those who have had unlimited renunciation and have broken away from everyone else and connected themselves to the One can remain happy all the time. Now here we need to understand that there is a practice that the sannyasis do of leaving their homes and going to the jungle searching for God. That is called limited renunciation. Why limited renunciation? Because that is physically going away. Yes, but it doesn't mean that the memories don't bother them, or they, whatever is happening in and around them in the jungle, because they also live in groups and then there are other activities. So it's not like they are fully detached from that. So it's just leaving the home, but what about the other things? So Baba says, for renunciation, you don't have to leave the home or the workplace. It is unlimited renunciation. So the soul just unplugs the buddhi from the old world. Now, first thing I would like to say that unlimited renunciation is not an idea, it's a stage. And an idea can be imbibed, a stage has to be built. You cannot just imbibe the idea of unlimited renunciation and become unlimitedly renunciate. That's not how it happens. And that's a stage we built. Now, first thing is, Baba uses this example, which is very interesting sometimes, that, when you make halwa, now, when the halwa is properly cooked, then it leaves the sides, the edges. So, that's the sign of even a good curry properly cooked or halwa properly cooked, that it just leaves the edges. And this is a very good analogy to understand when we will be mature inside. So, the soul reaches a stage of inner fulfillment, then you automatically become unlimited renunciate. So automatically you leave the sides of the old world. So the world will exist, the old world is there, you're inside it, you are performing your karma there, but it doesn't enter your buddhi anymore. So there is, so you see things, but they don't linger on your mind. So you saw a scene of loss or a scene of insult or a scene of defamation or a scene of failure, and then it's all there, or a scene which is very attractive. You saw a person or a thing which is very attractive, or you saw something that is very scary, but then your buddhi doesn't get pulled by it, which is that thing doesn't occupy space in your inner world. So your inner world, there is only one image and one experience. And that image is of Shiv Baba, and that experience is that of being the child of the ocean of love and the ocean of power. So this is unlimited renunciation. You may hear anything. You may hear sounds which relate to, again, several emotions, but the inner feeling is that of full contentment and peace. So that's unlimited renunciation. And Baba says that's our aim. And only when there is unlimited renunciation can there be unlimited happiness. Because this is an old world and everything is going wrong, not like something is going wrong. You are wherever you are working or wherever you are operating, whether it's a family setup or it's a work setup, whatever it is, you cannot expect anyone or anything to behave your way anytime. You're just doing anything and you're working with another soul, and then you instruct them to do something and they just do the opposite. They did just the opposite of what you just said. And then what do? If you keep losing your peace and happiness for what's going on in the old world, then you will have you will have one reason, 1 second to give up your happiness. But what will that make you? So how will you end up? And what will your final stage and your final thoughts be when you have to leave the body? So we have to be totally unplugged from this old world, because old means depleted. And everyone and everything is depleted. And when they are depleted, you cannot expect anything. So a depleted soul, depleted elements of matter, they are not. And even if, there is one person and he just asked me a question the other day, and he said, Didi, you see, these days, he is the owner of a company, and he says, Didi, earlier money was a motivation which people took to work better. But these days, even money can't motivate a person to work better. So he said, this is a very strange phenomena, and I'm telling it to you from my experience that these days you want to hire a good manager, you give him the best of the salary, but you cannot ensure he'll work well. So I said, these days even God cannot be the motivation, so money is nothing. And you see, God is telling us, and we understand. There is nobody in this classroom who doesn't understand that whatever we do now is impacting our future in heaven. We are sitting here, we understand that, but even heaven or God is not able to motivate us all the time. So the sanskars are so tamopradhan, and Baba says that these sanskars have to be transformed, because not being interested in, and Baba uses this very good expression, nothing new. And so if you're able to say nothing new to everything that's passing, so just lift your buddhi from the past second, whatever it was, doesn't matter. The past is past. Whatever it was, it could be anything. Anything means anything, death, loss, whatever. It shouldn't stick to your awareness. It shouldn't linger on the buddhi. And Baba says, when you are able to say nothing new from second to second, then you will be in a stage of unlimited happiness. And how would that happen? So there is this process. So you want the cooked halwa, there is a process to cook the halwa. So how do you cook the halwa? So Baba says, you keep changing, you keep changing your context from physical to spiritual, shifting all your relationships from bodily to relationships with Baba, all your attainments from physical attainments to attainments from Baba. So start relishing Baba's treasures, Baba's company. Start seeing yourself as a soul, not in the bodily context. And when your world shifts from here to there, when Baba becomes your world, and in a world there are relationships and there are attainments. So when all your relationships, all your attainments change from the physical context to Baba, and it's an internal thing. You keep doing your thing outside. Nobody's stopping you from the job or cooking the chapatis or cleaning the house. That's you have 24 hours of energy in the body. What will you do with it? You keep doing all of that stuff. You have a brain which needs oiling. You keep doing that. So that's just physical exercise and brain exercise. What does your job or your family need? They just need that much. Keep exercising your body, keep exercising your brain, and keep delivering whatever is required outside. But while doing all of that, keep doing this internal work. Keep experiencing your relationship with Baba while cooking, cleaning, doing your work, taking money, spending money, everything. Include Baba in that. And when you keep doing that, you will be in a place where you're fully functional and fully detached. So you don't have to be non-functional to be detached. You can be fully functional and fully detached. Because your context of operation is not what they need, what they want. It's what Baba has directed you to do. So Baba has asked you to live in the family and carry out your spiritual, do things for your spiritual progress. So you do that. Pay attention to Gyan, Yog, Dharana, Seva, and keep building that connection with Baba. And that is how you will be able to keep your happiness, because there will be 1 million reasons in a day for you to lose your happiness. And then another thing is, we don't like situations or things or behaviors which we think take away our happiness. But we like situations and behaviors and things which we think give us happiness. But the interesting thing is, if they can give you happiness, they can also take away your happiness. So that's why we need to cultivate a stage where we take all our happiness, whether it is the happiness of relationship or the happiness of attainments, from Baba. Because if something can give me happiness, it can also take away my happiness. So that's why this process is very important. And it's a tapasya. It's not like watching. So this session is like watching halwa being made on YouTube. But when you start cooking that halwa in your kitchen, it's a different experience. So listening will not nourish your body with the ghee and your taste buds with the taste. No. You have to cook it, and you have to make the effort to slowly detach from taking happiness from your relationships and attainments, and sourcing your happiness from Baba's treasures. So that's how you become entitled to unlimited happiness all the time. So this is one thing. There are 3 points in the answer. So first thing is this. Second is the happiness of those who follow the Father and those who are interested in doing service can never disappear. So you know that Brahma Baba is going to be the king of Satyug, the world of happiness. So we have to learn from Brahma Baba what he did, so that we can also become, we can also claim that happiness. So if it is said, if you do what you've always done, you'll get what you've always got. And if you want something different, you have to do it differently. But differently how? Because there has to be a reference point of someone who did it differently and got to that world of happiness. So Baba says that is Brahma Baba. So learn what he did. Now, what did Brahma Baba do? So today in the Murli, there is an example of what Brahma Baba did. And Baba says, for instance, this child, Brahma, is following him very well. When his children didn't follow his advice, he told them to go their way, their own way. Those who follow Ravan's directions and those who follow Rama's directions cannot stay together. So you see, Brahma Baba, when his children, his son basically, he said that, I don't want to follow Srimad. Then he said, okay, that's your choice, but then I will not have anything to do with you. Because I am on the path of Shiv Baba and you are on Ravan's path, so our paths cannot meet. So you see, this is a very, very good example of who you have to have a relationship with. So if our goal doesn't match, we cannot walk together. So who are you walking together with? So who are you talking to over the phone, or who are you engaging with in terms of relationship, or who are you dealing with, day to day? Where is your thought, time, energy, money being spent? Is it on the one who is on the path to become pure, or is it on somebody else? And why did Brahma Baba choose this? Because he follows Shiv Baba. He understands Srimad. And Srimad says that wherever your body, mind, and wealth will flow, it will create a karmic account. And if your energy, thought, and wealth is going to somebody who is on the path of impurity, then that creates a karmic burden on you. So he followed that Srimad. And Brahma Baba used all his resources on Srimad. So Baba says that you want to become the king of Satyug, world of happiness, and that world of happiness you go to by doing karma, and that karma is what Brahma Baba did. So you learn from Brahma Baba how to invest your body, mind, and wealth on Srimad. Not engage, not invest your body, mind, and wealth for people who are on the path of impurity, or for goals and aims that do not lead to what Baba's aim is. So Baba says that follow the Father. And only if you follow the Father here will you be able to follow the Father to Satyug. And then Baba says, those who are interested in service, their happiness will never disappear. Now you know that Baba created this platform, this seva. Why did Baba create centers and seva and so much of, this whole yagya, big yagya? So that our resources could be used. If you don't do anything good, how can you get anything good? And where do you do something good? There has to be a platform. If there is no platform, how will you serve? How will you invest your body, mind, and wealth in spiritual seva? So that's why Baba created this service platform. And Baba says we have to become the pillars of this platform. And when you do that, then happiness is the product of good karma and you get that happiness. So there is an opportunity for spiritual seva because God has created centers which require, the service of thought, the service of speech, the service of wealth, the service of time, energy, everything. And Baba says you have to participate in that service if you want to create good karma. And happiness is the product of good karma. And I've seen many children, they come to Baba, they listen to knowledge, but they don't participate in good karma, and then they don't participate in seva, they don't have any participation, and then what happens? The happiness to which they were entitled is not claimed by them. So this is why Baba says you have to pay attention to what you're doing. Are you following Brahma Baba? Are you interested in seva? And have you unplugged your buddhi from the old world? And it's very interesting that our buddhi has this capacity. You just observe, you see so many things. There is peripheral vision, there is direct vision. There are so many scenes crossing your mind. There are so many sounds which cross your ears all day. But what sticks to your buddhi is a very different story, and that depends on the quality of your buddhi. So Baba says, if you keep connecting your buddhi with me, then you can be in this world and still nothing will stick to you. So Baba gives this huge formula for happiness today. And then Baba today talks about non-violence and violence. And why Baba talks about this, we need to understand first, because in the Shastras and in the Gita, we have been told that to claim the kingdom, the Kauravas and Pandavas fought physically. Yes, so the Pandavas went to a physical war to claim the kingdom. Yes, and then they don't even show the kingdom later on. That's different. But then they say that, you had to kill the Kauravas for the Pandav rule to come. And God directed them to kill humans. Yes, that's what's written in the Gita. And then Baba says, I don't teach you any violence. I teach you silence. Baba says, I don't teach you violence, I teach you complete silence. And what is silence? Again, it's connected to what we were talking. So silence, Baba always says, silence is when you are in your religion of the soul. So you practice enough that I am a soul, I am peaceful, and it is up to me. It is my mind, my buddhi, my sanskar. It is up to me where I direct it. And if I want to, I can stay all day in this cave of introversion, Just like somebody can go and sit inside a cave, I can stay in this cave of introverted state where I just don't allow my buddhi and mind to wander outside, and I just sit inside in silence. Even if there is complete noise outside, you are fully capable of doing that. And Baba says, you keep doing that, keep accumulating that power of silence, and that power of silence will enable you to cross this whole scene of destruction, which will be a very noisy scene. Very noisy for the eyes, very noisy for the ears. And that kind of scene will not be able to disturb you, or it will not be able to move you from your state of peace and happiness, which you will radiate by your being at the end scene. And Baba says, just keep practicing this silence. You don't need violence for Raj Yoga. So Baba says, and the rule says, your final thoughts will lead to your destination, Antmate So Gati. So when you are completely in a state of peace and happiness, when you leave the body at the end, then you will move to that world of happiness and rule there. And everybody will get their final destination according to their complete stage. So you don't have to wage a war and kill anybody to claim the kingdom of Satyug. You just have to practice silence. And it is beautiful the way Baba teaches it to us today. And Baba says, in all of history, we have only been told that you can become a king by waging a war. So, anybody wanted to expand their kingdom, they waged a war. But Baba says, you don't have to go to war to become a king. You just have to go inwards in silence and practice it so much that You build a stage where no amount of noise is able to disturb your silence. And do it without the headphones. Okay? Because in the end, no headphones will be working. So, and then Baba today says that, even women are these days, you train them to go to war and be part of the army and this and that. And Baba says that's not required. So Baba today says they have put Krishna's name in the scriptures and shown a war, etc. There are no army of the Pandavas. Nowadays, they form groups of Kumaris and mothers and teach them how to use guns, etc. Here, you don't have any guns, etc. in your hands. Yes, you don't need to have a gun to be powerful. Yes, so that whole concept of power has shifted so much that nowadays you want to be powerful, you want a big fat purse or a gun. But Baba says power is a very spiritual thing. And people can snatch your gun or your purse, but they can't snatch what's within you. And a gun will invite a gun. And a fat purse will invite jealousy and greed. But your internal power will invite respect and, sahayog and cooperation and everything for you. So Baba says it's not about a gun. And Baba says, what do they know about who the Shiv Shakti army is? And even when we created images of deities, Shiv Shaktis, what did we do? We made them hold a trident and a sword and a bard of blood and this and that. And Baba says, that's not what deities do. They don't slay and kill. So Baba says, Shiv Baba is making us doubly non-violent. And Baba says, here I am telling you not only to do away with anger, but also with lust. So here you have to become doubly non-violent. This is called 100% non-violence. Theirs is 100% violence. So, in the world, even in religion or in science or anywhere, it is 100% violence, because what they are telling you is, scientists are teaching you how a country becomes powerful by having a lot of, ammunition and nuclear power and this and that. So Baba says theirs is 100% violence, and here it is 100% non-violence. Baba says they destroy so many with just one bomb. There is so much difference between unlimited non-violence and violence. You are now in unlimited silence. The more preparations they continue to make for war, the more noise they make. There is so much upheaval in destruction. For this establishment, you are sitting in such silence. So as much as noise they make, that much of silence you have to be in. And silence is a very internal thing, and it depends on your bodilessness. Because as much as you are bodiless, that much you will be silent. There is no question of violence. This is now your practical life. So Baba says, it's not theory again, it's not watching the halwa on YouTube. Practical life this is. You are claiming your inheritance from the Father with the power of yoga, and this is practical and real. As much as you are doing it, you are claiming your inheritance from the Father. Your claim to heaven with the power of yoga. So this is so easy, okay? Now the blessing today is, Now I'll tell you the essence of the blessing. So Baba says, earlier we used to live in relationships, and those relationships were karmic bondages. That is why there was always this attitude of I have to and I can't. So that's the sign of a karmic bondage. You have to do something which you don't want to do because you feel trapped. Children feel that, parents feel that, everybody feels that. Now Baba says, suppose we die today. So, physically if somebody dies, then those relationships don't exist anymore. Yes, so those karmic bondages don't exist in that form anymore. So Baba says, what you do is you die alive. So this is your next birth. And now you forget you have that relationship with them. Forget your husband is your husband, your wife is your wife, your child is your child. And just in this new birth, have this new relationship, which is that of a server, a healer, a doctor, a teacher. Yes, and a banker. So you go to a bank, you ask them for money. What do? They assess your credibility and they give you the money. Can you be a banker to your child? They ask you for money, you assess their credibility and give it. Not because they are your children, but because that credibility, they pass the credibility test. So you be the banker, the doctor, the teacher. Yes, so Baba says, just like, when somebody is on service. So we meet so many people with so many sanskars in the area of service. And then we don't get upset because they are like that. We just understand I have to do my job and I must know that they will be who they are and it's okay. Yes, so have that same attitude of a server with those who think you had blood relationship with. And we are very good servers, and that detachment, when it's there, you will be able to serve everybody well. And I have a very first-hand experience with this, and there's this sister and she's a doctor and she had a tough time with her parent, and when she told me, I said, start looking at them as your patient. And then she said, sister, what are you talking? Is it that simple? You have not met my parents. So I said, I have not met your patients also, and I'm sure they are difficult. And I'm sure you handle them well. So why can't you handle your parent if you just change your attitude that he's your patient? And then she tried it and she said, it works. It works very well. So Baba says, just change this whole paradigm. And again, the foundation of this is forge all relationships with Baba. And then anybody you are with, when you're sourcing your internal happiness from Baba and love from Baba, then you can be a sevadhari to anybody. You can be a sevadhari to your spouse, your children, your parents, anybody. And it's okay. But you have to be a sevadhari to others also, because you have to practice to apply. You cannot practice there. That's a very difficult ground to practice. So if you are a sevadhari elsewhere, then you can apply the same here. The same compassion, that same understanding. Yes. And then, there is this one brother and he said, when I talk to you, you talk so sweetly back to me, but my father doesn't do that to me. I said, you don't talk to your father like you talk to me. Do you do that? If I tell you I didn't get you the first time, you are very polite in explaining it to me the second time. But do you do the same to your father? He said he never gets it. I said, I also never get it. But you are quite polite to me. Why? Because it's the attitude which determines the action. And there has to be the attitude of detachment for the attitude of love to be. There cannot be love without detachment. Om Shanti.